The job market is tight right now. The U.S. Labor Department announced on Friday that the U.S. lost 92,000 jobs in the month of February. That's tough.
It really is. Filmmaker turned content creator Erin McGough is trying to ease those numbers and set people up for success with her TikTok videos like this.
Oh, that was so embarrassing. I showed up to the interview 2 hours early and they kept bringing it up like it was something I should have known was weird. Isn't that common sense? What? To not show up 2 hours early to a job interview. It's unprofessional and inconvenient, and it makes you seem eager. You should always show up to the office 15 minutes early. Early is on time, and on time is late. It was just the only time I could get a ride, and I didn't want to be late, and wait, who taught you that saying? Oh, my dad. He's the VP at an insurance company, and it's something that I always said. You know, like repeat the interviewer's name, use the STAR method, always shake hands standing up, that kind of stuff. Common sense.
I love it. By the way, those are all good pieces of advice, too.
Right, that's right. Now, Erin has taken some of her best advice, and put it in a book. It is called The Secret Language of Work. It hits bookshelves today. Erin is here to help us. Welcome, Erin, and happy Pub Day, as they say.
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so happy to be here.
This is so useful for all of us because, as we mentioned, those numbers are pretty staggering. So you gave some great advice. What exactly is the secret language of work?
The secret language of work, you know, it refers to the hidden curriculum or the unspoken rules of the workplace. And there are things that we aren't formally taught in school, but rather taught through our community or through trial and error or through our parents. And a lot of people don't have parents or community that can teach them these things. So I wanted to take them all and write them in a book.
Perfect.
Love that. Last week on the show, we talked a little bit about refreshing your resume, about making sure your LinkedIn profile looked good. You talk a lot about networking. Why is it so important, and how can people do it?
Yeah, networking is a word that scares everybody, but it's really just making professional friends. And one of the why networking is so important right now is because the online hiring process is kind of broken. So we have like scam jobs and ghost jobs and AI mass auto-apply bots that are just clogging up the system. And so what's so important is to remember that people hire people and not computers. And so you have to get to people, and then they're going to make the decision to hire you. So it's just so important to network and expand, who you know.
Yeah.
And speaking of expanding your network, pun intended, what are some strategies that people should use when expanding their network? Because as someone who is on LinkedIn, every day there is a young person who is either applying for a job or, I want to get into sports, I want to be on TV, and I'm like, and it's tough to respond back in 180 characters.
Yeah, oh, definitely. It's really challenging, but I do recommend that people put themselves out there. LinkedIn is actually very, very powerful right now. It's a great way to brand yourself and to, lead with value, of course, and you need to have a variety in the way that you network. Network with your peers and network with reach networking is what I call it. Something I love about the book is I talk about how to network as an introvert. I call it couch networking. So, listen to podcasts in your industry and reach out to guests that you like on LinkedIn. It's a great way. And of course, get out, go to birthday parties, go to weddings, talk to people, make friends.
Right, exactly. Talk to actual people. I like it.
You also talk a little bit about like how to adjust your physicality, how presenting yourself matters. I loved the little TikTok we showed. You talked about always shake hands standing up. What are some of like your biggest tips for how people need to present themselves either at an interview or when they are at a networking event?
Yeah, it's a great question. I always say be interesting and be interested. Just be interested in other people. Just be curious. You have something to learn from everybody that you talk to. So be a sponge, especially if you're early on in your career. Just go out to lunch with people, be interested in what they're doing, ask them questions about their job, and that is truly just a great foundation to set for your career.
I always tell my nieces who are, exiting college now, if you're invited to a networking event, get a hold of the guest list, and pick like 5 people and say, okay, I need 5 talking points about these 5 people, and find them, and be prepared for them to be disinterested, because sometimes that happens.
It is.
And you can't take it personally.
It is, but I love what you said about being interested, because we always say, like, nobody remembers what you said, but they will remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely.
And if you made them feel like you were interested in them, they want to engage with you again. I love that.
Yeah, be curious about people, and the reciprocity principle. Give things to people if you can. Send them an article you think they'd find interesting. Like their LinkedIn post, buy their book. It's great ways to just support people first.
Yeah. Speaking of buying books, you have a book event of your own.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes, tonight I will be at Barnes & Noble signing books. We're going to have a little panel talking about the secret language of work and practical tips for getting a job in 2026. So that will be at 6 p.m. tonight at the Barnes & Noble in Union Square.
Excellent. Fantastic
I love this.
venue.
And I tell you what, I trust Erin because she's doing it on TikTok, which I don't even mean as a joke. I mean literally because like the modern way of doing things
100%.
and the modern way of job hunt.
100%.
This is how it's happening these days, folks. Don't get left behind,
That's right.
Absolutely.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
And congrats.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Check her out, Barnes & Noble, Union Square. Make sure to pick up a copy of your book, The Secret Language of Work.